welcome to the 15th lecture of the Conviv Design Series. I'm Dr. Demeter from Living Earth College. Welcome. Today I'm going to be delivering a lecture about a particular herb. So there are many books that describe plant telepathy, plant shamanism. Humans have always had a very strong connection with the plant world. And there are studies about the human connection between plants and people over millennia. I won't get into the whole science of it, the quantum science of it right now, but simply I'm just going to share that in meditation, I had a vision and a message from Stinging Nettle. And Stinging Nettle is a wonderful herb for accessing, giving the body trace minerals, and a lot of it can be prescribed for women post-birth if they're like really depleted, to just drink the tea. It's also used if there's iron deficiency. It's just packed full of goodness. It's like, I say, spinach times by 10. So here we have where we're at. I've been sharing a lot about abstraction. What do I mean by abstraction? Abstraction is where we leave the living realm and we're creating a representation of something that is alive. And the problem is, if we do that too much, things become disembodied. That's the word here, the problem, the disembodiment. And things start to lose touch with reality, to be quite honest, and anchoring in to the life itself, to the real world, to the living systems that we are in within our bodies, and also the living systems that we are interacting with in community and in the living world. So Stinging Nettle is calling out a deficiency of thought, a deficiency of practice in nearly all sectors of our society as we see it now. To me, and maybe Nettle, this may be the biggest scam of the 20th and 21st century. Is the representation of life, the brand, the report, the slogan, the paper, the conference, the workshop, the talk fest, the engagement exercise, the social media post, the essay. It's all in its own right. It has a purpose of communication, but when that becomes core business, we disconnect, and it becomes abstracted, unanchored, and it's not ecological. So what we need to work towards is the embodiment and the whole, and to participate again in life itself, to steward the land like we always have done over thousands of years. So Stinging Nettle has a particular message for a particular movement, as I shared in my short yesterday. And that message is for the Anti-Krill movement. And I'm based in Tasmania, and the Bob Brown Foundation and then also the Paul Watson Foundation are really big on this hot topic. And they're calling themselves for ecological rights. but I have not seen one communication on a root cause issue in the food system of why the krill is being extracted in the first place because of nutrient deficiency in the food system, and the fact that we need to be stewarding the land and connecting to the land, connecting to the plants. If everyone started to drink stinging nettle tea, it's as simple as that, they would regain the trace minerals required and the nutrition required, that they don't commodify this resource, this finite resource of krill in the Southern Ocean, which is this big commodification fetish over. Everyone can grow stinging nettle in their front garden. It grows like a weed, and it's just the beginning. So herbalism unites with movement. Herbalism, which is this old ancient craft of thousands of years that has been put to the side as sort of this niche area, well, it's fundamental, and the plants themselves, life themselves, even have an opinion about this situation. And honestly, the nettle thinks it's ludicrous. How is it that it's that simple that people just start to grow stinging nettle in their front garden, their community farm, or wherever it is, on their balcony in a pot, and start to, on the ship that they sail out to protest against the krill? They need stinging nettle on there, I can tell you. When you're out at sea for that long, bring on the stinging nettle. There'll be no nutrient deficiency if you're drinking stinging nettle tea once a day, and you can dry it. You don't need the plant. You can dry the herb and it be there at when one needs it. And it's light to carry. It's easy to pack. So I begin with the sector of activism, of ecological activism, because that's where I see the most absurdity of the unecological happening, of the reaction, of the binary, of the war, of the disconnection. This is not ecological. Ecological is making the mycelium connections, the bridges, the restoration, and looking at the whole and how to address the whole. And when you have thousands of followers, young people too, looking up to your organizations and worshipping you, and you can't provide the whole system, education, the ecological systems design education that's needed to connect the dots of why the problem's happening in the first place, we have a problem of abstraction. And maybe I would argue we have nutrient deficiency. So I'm not picking on people, but maybe this is the message from the nettle. We all need to drink more stinging nettle tea in the ecological movement to help restore the nutrition of the body. So we then create the capacity of thought, of ecological thought, to address the root cause of ecological crisis and come up with the solutions and the scenarios to address it, because we have great responsibility to do so. We can't run ecological organizations on a business model that is about abstraction and the branding that is the same as corporate branding. which is the problem that we're dealing with here, is the commodification and the abstraction. So the little man came up again. The little man, the little Three of Pentacles man, he's here. He's also concerned that we have to just root in and connect to the earth and steward. And that's where we're heading to in terms of the importance of bringing about the changes we need to the social, political, cultural, and economic system. I'm not going to finish on the activist space. I'll say that we have the same deficiency in the university sector and the abstraction there, with the metrics to produce journals and papers every year without there being anchoring into place. Likewise, with reporting and planning and strategies within the local government sector, the same kind of abstraction is happening. And then, of course, we have the greenwashing and the glossy reports from the corporate space of corporate social responsibility, and that abstraction too. But I want to address it at the ecological activism space because it's the one that I find the most ironic. And herbalism is a phenomenal way in. I think the plants, all the plants, bring the diversity of nutrition and chemistry and biology that we need to remember the whole again, to remember the ecological self again. And I'll finish on that. And thank you, Nettle. I love you, Nettle. Nettle is the main, I'm speaking for the Nettle today. I'm Dr. Demeter. Please subscribe to the Design with Dr. Demeter channel. Check out the Living Earth College courses online. It's about insight learning. It's not about content. It's about life systems inquiry and observation and becoming whole again. And we do this in community and cohort. And I also provide strategy, consulting, operational, anchoring in strategy for campaigning organizations, local government, and sure, if the university sector is interested to change their business model, I'm interested to collaborate too. And that is it. Thank you. See you in the next one.